No, 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 Disney, there's no way I'm rooting for Cruella, a woman who ruined my childhood because she terrified me. Okay, fine, it's Emma Stone. Alright, I'll root for her in the movie. Dang it. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review, and today we're diving into Disney's Cruella, the live-action prequel to the hit movie 101 Dalmatians. So everything you learned about Glenn Close's Cruella, well, you're going to learn more about the background history of that character, because yeah, they are the same character. The movie is directed by Craig Gillespie, who directed I, Tonya, and it's starring Emma Stone, Emma Thompson, and even Paul Walter Hauser, among many others. This is kind of like an ensemble cast, but not really. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But before I tell you whether or not this is worth watching in theaters or on Disney Plus Premier Access this weekend, if it is your first time here at the channel, guys, welcome to Real James, where I talk about movies like this all the time. And if you love them just like I do, consider subscribing down below, hitting the big red button, and tapping on that bell so you'll be the first one in the comments whenever I drop anything new. Smash that thumbs up button if you're a big fan of Emma Stone or Emma Thompson, and go ahead and get loud down below in the comments and let me know what you think of Cruella if you see it this weekend, and what's your favorite Disney live-action adaptation? Because I have a couple of choices for that one. Alrighty guys, so let's get right into Cruella, and a big thank you to Disney for providing me with the screener link for review. So at the top of the list is this: costume design, aesthetic, and attitude. All three of those things deliver in Cruella. There's zero doubt in my mind that this will be nominated at next year's Oscars because of the costume design and how marvelous it is. There's an attention to detail here that I haven't seen in any other film so far this year, and it is absolutely fascinating, and it really provides a lot of that shock and awe value for the film. I honestly loved all of the outfits here, and some of my favorite scenes were the fashion shows put on by both the Baroness and Cruella. And in case you don't know what the Baroness or who the Baroness is, this is basically Cruella's arch nemesis in the movie, and boy do they really play that up very well. And there's an incredible moment where both of them just kind of face off, and this happens a couple times, but the first time that it happens is definitely a joy to watch unfold. And then there's this punk attitude that the film gains as well, which makes everything so fun. Over time you can start to tell that the soundtrack changes little by little, and then you see Estella grow into Cruella, and boy is that transformation fantastic. And speaking of soundtrack, guys, the attitude doesn't just come from our actors, it also comes from another main character in the film: the song choices. Each one was fantastic, and I really did love the soundtrack overall. Craig Gillespie does a good job at picking songs that really fit with the mood, and they create an atmosphere of their own even when nothing else is going on. So I really appreciated that. It's going to be something that is going to be accessible for all ages, so even if there's a parent watching this with their kid, I think that both will enjoy everything they're hearing and seeing. And I found it really neat how they played with colors in this movie. At the beginning of the film, we start to see a little bit more vibrance. Colors are popping, dresses look really bright, and as the film goes on, we start to notice the palette get a little bit darker, and that is symbolic of Estella once again transforming into Cruella, and she gets into her evil, evil ways. I can't really say too much else. And I really appreciated the direction by Craig Gillespie here, and how this film is edited to make it the most stylized live-action Disney movie yet. That's one area I don't think the Disney live-action adaptations have really nailed yet, having a distinct style, but this is definitely very unique. I was a big fan of the way that this film was spliced together outside of one car chase scene that used way too many jump cuts, but otherwise I thought the editing was snappy yet calculated, and you started to see it flow very well as the film went on. And I especially loved one montage where we see Cruella being Cruella and displaying outfits that I couldn't imagine in a million years. She was going to red carpet events, and the ideas honestly just felt so fresh, and I don't know how they came up with some of these set pieces, but it was extravagant, it was great, and it was captivating. And when it comes to the acting in this film, the performances by the Emmas were just simply amazing. I was blown away by how Emma Thompson, who plays the Baroness, and Emma Stone, who again plays Cruella, how they were able to just play off of one another so well. Their chemistry was unreal here. And it's wild because Emma Thompson gives you reasons to hate her character, and Emma Stone gives you reasons to like Cruella. Yeah, I know, I'm still trying to figure that one out. But again, it was great to see them square off against one another, and it added another layer to this film. And by now, if you don't know this, I'm a huge Emma Stone fan, and she has what could be an award-winning moment here too. She continues to floor me with some of her more solo moments in this movie, and there was one that was my favorite of them all. It actually is my favorite scene in the movie, where she takes a motorbike to a certain location, and you start to hear her monologue Oh my gosh, guys, it was just blowing me away. The direction there was great, the way it was shot, but more importantly, the way it was acted by Emma Stone. She delivers one of the more groundbreaking performances that I've seen in a Disney film to date. And guys, I know you're probably asking, Emma Stone or Glenn Close's Cruella? Well, they're both the same character again, but what I will say is that Glenn Close delivers in some areas that I think Emma Stone didn't, which is being over the top and zany, but Emma Stone is able to bring it down a level, and it almost feels like she adds humanity to the role, and she's able to turn it on and turn it off, and in some areas, yeah, she is better than Glenn Close. And when it comes to Emma Thompson, she did a wonderful job at making the Baroness a wretched character who even sprays perfumes in the eyes of her security and treated others like dirt beneath her feet. Sometimes I almost thought, okay guys, we don't need to see all this to know that she's a terrible character, I already hate her. But on the other hand, I had to imagine if they didn't show this, maybe we wouldn't have that hatred for her as an audience, and it matters, especially as it gets closer to the end of the film. So I do love the performance by Emma Thompson, and I'm a big fan of how they really just put them together, right, in one ring and had them square off again. It was just so cool to witness. And one of my biggest concerns coming into this is, could you really get a layered approach to Cruella's origin story? And luckily, they did. They pulled it off. And honestly, it's not just about Cruella and the Baroness, which I actually liked about this movie. It introduces some supporting characters that I actually found myself enjoying over the course of, 2 hours and 15 minutes. And speaking of our supporting cast, guys, I did find that there were a couple of standouts, and that starts with Paul Walter Hauser as Horace. He does a wonderful job here, and I really loved his comedic timing. He's a good actor anyway, but seeing him really just embody the character of Horace, who is a klutz, but he does have a heart, was incredible to see on screen. And then you have John McCrea as Artie. Oh, Artie, I wish we had more of him because of how good he was in this role. He excels at being high energy, and he's very snippy, right? He's got these quippy lines, and the way he delivers his dialogue was just, it demanded my attention. Alrighty guys, so now I think we do have to dive into some things that really held back Cruella, and it doesn't have anything to do with the acting. It's all about the writing. For the first hour, this film was incredibly hit and miss for me. It really does dive into that trope we see in origin stories where the younger version of a character is doing something on screen and then the older version is saying, when I was a child, this and this and this. So you start to see that bleed into the film for the first hour. Luckily, it does get better after that, but still, I did not like the first act, and I almost thought that it could have been trimmed down and it would have made this film even better. And the story overall was just really uninteresting for the first 58 minutes or so, and I almost had that fear creep in of whether or not these Disney live action adaptations really are necessary. And that is something I definitely did not want to think about while watching this movie. And then when you get past the costume design and all the glitz and glamour of what you're seeing on screen, I started to notice that the script is a little thin. It's really on the nose, guys. There are no subtleties in this movie, and there are a lot of over explanations from our characters, talking down to the audience even. I mean, we just don't need any of that. There's even a moment where Horace over explains Cruella's name. Like, okay, we get it, dude. You don't have to actually say that. And I don't know why that was even written into the script, because up to that point, if you didn't put two and two together, well, and we got just a couple more negatives here, guys. And the next one is, I did not like how they ended up propping up characters who probably were supposed to be important in that first hour and making them feel, just like side pieces. Joel Fry plays Jasper, and the movie made him so monotonous. There's zero personality compared to his co-stars, and I was sad that the character ended up being almost forgettable in a ton of scenes. And for comparison's sake, Ziggy Gardner plays young Jasper in the beginning of the film, and even he had more personality. So I don't know what happened. I don't think it is Joel Fry's fault, because I know he can act. I think it's more so the script telling him to be kind of lifeless. And then there's how the film handled Anita Darling, played by Kirby Howell-Baptiste. At first, I really thought they were going to do something with this character and Cruella and have her be more of a central figure in the overall plot, but that's not what happened, guys. Instead, Anita Darling kind of shows up every now and then, and that's it. There's really not a lot of staying power for her character, and that kind of upset me because, guys, you don't just introduce a character like that, especially in the beginning of a movie, and then they come in every now and then to just help Cruella, and that's it. I'm sorry, guys. I was just disappointed with the way they handled both of those characters. And for as good as the movie did get after the first hour, I even thought the third act overstayed its welcome a little bit. Honestly, guys, I just think that maybe it needed to be trimmed down a little bit, make it a tighter film, and this would have been a better overall experience. Oh, and for those who like to zone out during the credits, don't. There's a cool mid-credits scene here too. So overall, you guys, my thoughts on Cruella are, this is an okay film. And that's the thing, I don't think it's anything extraordinary. Now, the costume designs, amazing. The acting, the performances from Emma Stone, Emma Thompson are extraordinary. They're captivating, and they're some of the best performances of 2021. Truly, Emma Stone is definitely one of these actresses who's so versatile, and as Cruella, man, she just smashes it. So I really love that they brought the character to life using Emma Stone and her amazing versatility and range as an actor. And yes, I did enjoy the directing for the most part, and I thought the soundtrack was fun, but when I did get past a lot of that, I took a hard look at the story, and I don't think I was as interested as I wanted to be. There were plenty of moments in that first hour where I thought, oh, this is kind of a chore to get through, and I still think that holds the film back enough to where I don't love the movie. I like it, I think it's still good, and it's worth a watch, I would say, especially if you're a fan of these Disney live actions, or if you're just a fan of Emma Stone. But if you're not sold on this film and you don't want to rush out to theaters, I think it's probably worth just watching it on Disney Plus Premier Access, because this is a film that, even though it's big in size and scale, I don't necessarily think it delivers a home run punch like it wanted to. So if you had to ask me, guys, this is one of those 3.5 out of 5 movies, but it's like a strong 3.5 out of 5 because of Emma Stone and Emma Thompson. The Emmas here were just great. Again, they probably do deserve your time, so if you can get a decent ticket price to the theater, do it if you can get there safely. But if you want to watch it with the family on Disney Plus Premier Access, I still think it'll be worth your time. So there you have it, guys. That's my real review of Cruella, which again debuts in theaters and on Disney Plus Premier Access this weekend. And if you watch it, guys, let me know down below in the comments what you think of this movie. And if you haven't already, go ahead and smash the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and help us get to 5,000. We got a big month coming up. June, July, actually August, September, October, never mind, we have a big year coming up. And if you haven't already, guys, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. Alrighty, y'all, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.